I welcome you to Whispers of the Soul. Life writes its deepest lines on the inside. We read them out loud. There's a room in every soul, a quiet room. It has no windows, no visitors, no light, just echoes. In the corner of that room, a young man sits, 23. Brilliant, funny, full of dreams, but hollow. Everyone thinks he's okay, that he's got it all figured out. He laughs the loudest in the group chat. He replies with, "I'm good, bro," without even thinking. But behind closed doors, he's unraveling. He scrolls through his phone at 2:47 a.m. No messages, no calls, just the dull glow of a screen and a million racing thoughts. Why am I like this? Why does everything feel so heavy? He cries quietly because the walls are too familiar with his tears to be surprised anymore. No one knows, and that's the cruel part of it. Not because they don't care, but because he's too good at hiding. We live in a world where sadness has to be hidden, where emotions are buried beneath smiles, where pain has to wear makeup and pretend to be busy. This is where our journey begins, in the room where no one comes. You see them every day. The girl who always makes people laugh, the guy who posts motivational quotes, the colleague who never misses a deadline, the friend who says, "You know me, I'm always good." But they all wear masks, perfectly painted, carefully placed, not for deception, but for survival. Because if you dare to take the mask off, even for a second, you might be seen. And being seen is terrifying. Because what if they look into you and walk away? We learn to perform. We laugh when we want to cry. We say, "I'm just tired," instead of, "I'm overwhelmed and breaking inside." We turn pain into jokes, loneliness into productivity, and heartbreak into silence. Why? Because we're taught that vulnerability is weakness. Because when you showed your true self once, it was used against you. Because you learned the hard way that people love the idea of you, but not the real you. Psychologists call this emotional masking, a defense mechanism, a way the mind protects itself from perceived rejection or invalidation. But the truth is, the longer you wear the mask, the more it becomes your face, until one day you can't tell where the performance ends and you begin. You lose your voice, your wants, your identity, just to be accepted. And the scariest part? Most people will never notice, because they're wearing their own masks too. Isn't it strange how we can be surrounded by people and still feel alone? How we can say, "I'm fine" 1,000 times, and no one ever asks again? But here's the shift. You are not the mask. You are the soul underneath it. You are the trembling voice that wants to be heard, the heart that still aches, the story that still matters. So what if, just what if, you could take the mask off? Not for everyone, but for someone. Some people carry their pain like a badge, others carry it like a secret. But the heaviest pain is the one no one sees, the pain you carry in silence. You still wake up, you still show up, you still say thank you and smile at strangers. But inside, you're dragging a suitcase full of unmet needs, broken memories, and unspoken fears. You've cried in the shower just so no one hears. You've stared at your ceiling for hours, lost in a loop of, "What's wrong with me?" But nothing's wrong with you. You're just tired. Tired of being strong. Tired of always having to hold it together. We've built a society that celebrates resilience, but forgets the cost of constantly being resilient. And so we carry on, one step at a time, with invisible bruises and uncelebrated courage. This silent suffering is often tied to something psychologists call high-functioning depression. You're doing well enough that no one notices your struggle, which makes it even harder to ask for help. Because you tell yourself, others have it worse. I shouldn't feel like this. I'm just being ungrateful. But pain is not a competition. And suffering is not a weakness. You don't need a permission slip to feel. The truth is, you've been strong for so long. You've forgotten what softness feels like, forgotten how to rest, how to receive. But here's a mindset shift. You're allowed to fall apart, not because you're broken, but because you've held it together for too long. Even the strongest hearts need time to breathe. This could I, a friend or colleague, a family member or distant relative. Use the comment section below to express yourself. Thank you.